everyone knows what's going on with boxing at the moment, and atypical tests, adverse tests, people getting testosterone, therapeutic use exemption certificates and all that shit. So that's boxing at the moment. It's
Phone here for pro boxing fans in Liverpool, headed to Tasha Jonas versus LaMere. It's a pleasure to be joined by Paul Smith. Paul, it feels as if I'm seeing more of you than my own mother this week. Got over the jet lag and everything from Quebec. I know I quite haven't yet. Yeah, it's tough, innit?
I was in the house yesterday, falling asleep in the car when my missus was driving us home, and I fell asleep on the couch at about 1-2 o'clock, shattered, couldn't get to sleep. And then the night when I was ready to go to bed, I was wide awake, walking around, like, feeling like I'd had about 4 coffees. That's how it is. It's always the same with jet lag, but good experience, good place, good people. Apart from the result, it was a good trip, you know what I mean? But obviously the result's the one that matters.
We'll come on to it. Just want to talk a bit about Tasha. Obviously it's been an amazing couple of years for her since moving up in weight, but I think it's fair to say since moving up in weight, LaMere, the biggest test she'll have faced, former world champion. What do you make of the fight?
I think it's a good fight. I think if Tasha gets the win, it'll be her best win, obviously. She's up for it as well, Mayer, isn't she? You know, it's a tough fight for Tasha, and it's one that I hope she's really got stuck in the gym and got her head down. I'm confident of her winning it and looking good in it. But it's a tough fight. It's not a gimme by any means.
And just on Quebec, Paul, obviously you went over there, obviously for Callum's fight with Artur Beterbiev, full of confidence. A lot of people were picking Callum. It didn't go your way on the night. Just your reflection, it's been a few days. How do you sum up what happened in the ring in Quebec?
Very good win for Beterbiev, good performance from him. He did everything that was asked of him. Callum just fell short on the night, just got a few things wrong here and there, but not through lack of trying, and it is what it is. He lost to the better man on the night, but that's all I can really say on it without going into, as I say before, the elephant in the room. Everyone knows what's going on with boxing at the moment, and atypical tests, adverse tests, people getting testosterone, therapeutic use exemption certificates and all that shit. So that's boxing at the moment. It's hard to say too much on it without sounding bitter. That's why I'm starting with saying the better man won on the night, and that's all that Beterbiev had to do. Is beat the man in front of him, but what he's done on the way, who knows? They're saying he's innocent. He's saying he's innocent. But I'm only 2 years older, and I guarantee you my testosterone levels will be nowhere near what his are. So, that's not to do with training, that's not to do with genetics, that's not to do with fitness, that's not to do with good diet, no alcohol, no nothing. Early nights I've seen, he's in bed by 10 o'clock every night. It is what it is. There's no point in going into it too much, because, as I say, it just does sound like sour grapes or bitterness, but it does leave a bitter taste in your mouth when it's you on the receiving end of it.
After the fight, there was a few words said between, I think, Eddie and Liam had a bit to say with Beterbiev's corner. Is there any way you could reflect, or what was said in the aftermath?
Look, it's, as I say, it's
the emotions running high.
I saw a couple of tweets someone showed me, because I didn't even go on it, but I saw a couple of tweets of someone saying like something got said to Liam, and Liam like backed off. It was Liam that was the aggressor. It was Liam that was saying to him, no, not a good fight, you. And the rest got said, and then they smiled and walked away. And then after it, one of the trainers was having a little go, and I pulled the trainer and said, if you've got something to say, come and say it. Don't be whispering. You don't have to. We're standing here. You can come and say whatever you want to say backstage. Backstage, we saw them. They said nothing, and that was it. As I say, the tempers run high, the emotions are high on fight night, and we've just watched our brother lose, obviously. The rest of it then is just a bit of handbags. Nothing's going to happen over it. We can't do nothing about it. We can't regulate tests. We can't say how tests should be. But if your levels are high, or an atypical test, and then you just go back and test again 2 weeks later, then obviously there's not going to be anything in the system. If I get pulled for something now and I can get that out of my system, or I can make sure it's not in my system by taking it again, then you can test me all you want in 2 weeks and it's not going to be there. That's how it is. But as we keep hearing this word, atypical means it's not positive, but it also means it's not negative. So there's something in there. How it got there, that's for anyone else to find out. I don't know. Only maybe a handful of people will know how it got in there, or only Artur Beterbiev will know how it got in there. But It is what it is. I can't be sitting accusing people of things. It's for their own people to make their own minds up. You know, make of it what you will. I'm 41. He's 39, nearly 40, and I know that I don't produce enough testosterone now as I did when I was in my peak, when I was fighting, or in my prime age when I was fighting, or in my prime age as a young man, put it that way. But as I say, it is what it is. You have to make your own minds up for it.
Just on Callum, obviously very tough night for him. I know it's only been a couple of days. From what I've seen online, fans really are keen to see him continue boxing. There's some great domestic fights for him. Have you had any conversations about Callum or what the future might look like for him? As I say, I appreciate it's very soon after the fact.
No, I haven't, to be honest with you. I said before in another interview, you know, anyone that knows Callum knows how quiet he is. Obviously, he's like that with everyone, even us, even his brothers and his family and his missus and that. I just sent him a message after the fight when we got back, to say I was with him on the flight and the car all the way home. He'll make his own mind up what he wants to do. It's entirely up to him. As I say, he's self-managed. He's his own man. He's his own boss. He'll decide what he wants to do. If there's offers coming his way, he'll look at them, I'm sure. But it's up to him. If Callum would have won Saturday, he could have probably retired in the ring. Knowing him, he's not in it for the money. He just wants to be the best. And he said that in his interview after the fight, which listen, all fighters do. I lost my first fight and wanted to call it a day. Never mind, you know, the fifth one I lost for the world title. That's how it is. It's the worst feeling in the world when you lose, and you have to put that into perspective, which I think Callum was doing. I heard him on his interview from Sky, just out the sides of me eye. I could hear him a little bit saying about, you know, perspective and family and things like that, and that's what you have to do when you lose a fight. You have to put things into perspective, because it's not nice, and it'll consume you if you let it, but there's more important things than boxing.
I know the goal for Callum was, of course, to become a two-weight world champion. Do you think, I spoke to people from his team during the week, and they didn't even rule out, this was before the fight, a possibility of a move up to cruiserweight. Now, the only reason I say that is because obviously Callum's a big boy. I'm sure he would fill out at cruiserweight well, and with the world title seen as it is at light heavyweight, it looks like we're going to have the undisputed fight and the belts will be tied up for however long. Would that be a possibility even for Callum?
Again, I don't know. I can't speak for him. I'm not being funny saying that. He's his own man. It's entirely what he thinks. I could say, yeah, it sounds good, and he could tell me where to go. You know, I could say no chance, and he could say, you know what, it's a possibility. I genuinely don't know. I know he's not one that's going to wait around too long, and he's never going to overstay his welcome. None of us will ever overstay our welcome in boxing. It's a dangerous sport, and it's the worst one in the world to overstay your welcome and stay past your sell-by date, so to speak. It's your health, and that's what matters the most in boxing. That's what's important, your health. You don't want to get hurt in there, you don't want to hurt anyone in there. You want to temporarily hurt them for 10 seconds maybe, and that the ref counting, and after you get out you want to walk out the ring and be happy and healthy, and so does your opponent. But that brings me back to the start of what we talked about in the conversation, you know, these drugs in sport and these tests and all this stuff. It all needs sorting out, because it's not a race. Someone's going to get killed, someone's going to die in the ring, and something's going to happen, and then it's going to be a big problem for boxing.
Well, Paul, appreciate you speaking to me again. Enjoy the rest of the fight week in Liverpool, top man.
See you again. Thanks.